Welcome back to Let's Play Trails in the Sky the Third. My name is Karsten. I want to check something here. We don't have... Kind of looking at what is involved there. All right, do I need to talk to you next or what? Not yet, okay. I guess we go down here to the end. I'll check that area for anything interesting. And look for a portal to the next area. Well, there's our portal. This is the warp to the 6th plane, right? Time to hop to it then. Are you sure you're definitely okay, Kevin? I'm fine. Honestly, never better. Anyway, can't afford to stand around talking here. We need to get moving. I suppose you're right. Isn't this Rummel Pond? So the next place to be recreated is the scenic route near the royal family's villa, huh? Will probably be more dangerous than scenic this time around, though. We should start exploring as much of it as we can, but stay sharp. Let's start here. First, we have a bunch of weapons we can't afford. We will look into that. We need to get a lot of Sepith to be able to afford some of this stuff. We're getting to some of the ones that do dual stuff we can just buy at the store now. Alright. I want to get this for Kevin to bring him up to comparable strength to the other characters at least. As far as quartz goes, wood gem, impede 5. Okay, that's good. They'll only cast 2 though. Okay. Let's get that equipped on Kevin before we forget. Oh, he did have one upgrade there. But yeah, we'll get him that. Oop, did I not? There we go. So now everyone has around 1800 strength. A little bit lower, but around 1800 strength. Nothing over there. If I remember, I will probably want to do some grinding to get some more money to be able to afford equipment. The hell is that? It's not turning to face me, at least. What do we got here? The water and time. We'll start with that. Okay. I'm gonna try that, see what that does. Actually, do you have... Okay. Let's hit everyone with that. Yeah, that's something we definitely need to use arts on. Ooh, tough stuff, huh? Okay. And this was... yeah, water and time, alright. Let's hit you with that. Interrupt you. Just gonna move out of the way. Nice experience. And we came from down there. Okay. I remember grinding here in the last one. This is where I would fight Shining Palms. One of the previous games. Nothing here. You're a new enemy. What do you do? Oh my, a whole horde of new enemies. There's smoke balls, weak to space. Shrinks. Uses a shield. Unfortunately, physical attacks seem to be good. So I don't really have a lot of different attacks that use space. Go ahead and take that one out. These guys are quite annoying. Oof, that didn't do much. Okay, this one has a shield, so I guess we really should be using arts against him. I will heal her up though. At least I'm getting good experience there. I really think the game expects us to grind more. Or maybe use those doors. We've been ignoring the doors. The Lord of Phantasma does agree. Here lies the monochrome schoolhouse. Place your hand on this monument. The white wings among your number. So our friends left us a message, huh? I'm sure the white wings mentioned here must be referring to... I can only assume it must be a reference to my descendant. You're here. There's no need to be alarmed. This is only a shadow of myself that I created to talk to you here. Technically, I'm still in the garden, but now that I finally have some of my strength back, I've gained a few new tricks like this one up my sleeve, so to speak. Well, that's cool. Anyway, am I right in guessing we'll need to use this monument to proceed? You are indeed. It appears to be a kind of gate connecting this area and another realm created by the Lord of Phantasma. However, in order to activate it, you will need to have a certain member of your team with you. No doubt they work in a similar way to the doors scattered throughout Phantasma. Makes sense. So in this case, we're going to need to have Princess Claudia, right? I'd say so, yes. The other monuments in this area will likely also serve as gates to other areas, requiring different team members. But as it stands, none of the others are active. I presume you'll need to travel through this gate and finish the area beyond it first. Got it. We'll work our way through. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Should you require my aid, I will be in the garden. Well, I don't have her with me right now. Okay. Time to head back to the garden then, I guess. Yep, we need to explain what's going on to Chloe and hope she'll come with us. Well, I mean, obviously, since she would have been an option to have her with us already. I'm going to explore the rest of this area. I don't want to fight you. Ooh, I'm not going to complain about that. do want to see if we can look at some of the other areas here. Oops. Yeah, of course that's blocked off. It's gonna say nothing's there, yeah. Wait, is this the area that we were already in? Yeah. That's right, this kind of goes in circles. Yeah. Ish. Circles-ish. Tell you what we'll do. I bet we could do this one at least. See what this gets us. We've done well over 100 battles at this point. Shall grant you a memory fragment and my blessing. This is a report on the damage dealt to the former principality of Northumbria by the Salt Pale. Also contained within is research on the Pale itself. Holy City Orteria, Congregation for the Sacraments. Ooh. Salt Pale Research Report, Sergeant. I hereby present this report to you, Your Holiness, ever at the side of the goddess. This report contains classified information and may only be read by those with clearance to do so. Certain sections of the utmost secrecy have also been blacked out. Progression of events after the Pale's appearance. July 1st, 1178, 5:45 a.m. Urgent report came from the Halias Cathedral in the then Principality, now State of Northumbria, in northern Zemuria. It stated that a giant white pillar, so tall it appears to kiss the clouds, had appeared on the outskirts of the city. Bishop Alexei, the one who sent the report, behaved as if extremely unsettled by what was happening. By urgent order of the committee, 2 knights of the Gralsritter, the 8th Dominion, aka the Roaring Lion, and a squire, both of whom were working on another mission in a nearby nation, were dispatched to perform a formal investigation. They hurried to the scene via the 8th Merkaba unit. Please note that the Merkabas had only recently been put into use at this point. They arrived promptly. At 6:22 a.m., this is what they saw. Enclosed is a photograph of the object now known as the salt pail. At this point, however, it was far larger than the term pail would suggest. It was more akin to a massive tower that soared hundreds of arc into the air. The 2 knights provided the following observation regarding the situation on their arrival. We were met with a mighty hailstorm blowing in our direction from Haliask, or so it appeared at first, till we eventually realized the storm contained not ice but salt. The object's surface is completely covered with salt, making it impossible to tell what it may actually look like underneath. The surrounding air has become powdered salt, and it falls to the ground like snow falling on a tundra. The spread of that salinification process was startlingly rapid, and the affected area spread in the blink of an eye. This is sounding like an SCP. By the time the Gralsritter arrived, the entire landscape of the capital had turned to salt, and the lives of many who lived there, like the aforementioned Bishop Alexei, had already been lost. Yet the spread did not stop there. A day after the salt pail first appeared, a vast coniferous forest zone north of the capital crystallized and collapsed. Bridges also collapsed, rendering all of the main highways out of the city unusable. Please note that by this point, then-ruler Prince Balmut had already fled the country to a nearby nation. 2 days passed since the pail's appearance. By this point, roughly half of the entire principality had become a sea of salt. Countless refugees had fled to the southern side of the country because the River Greve stood between it and the affected area. Finally, 3 days after the pail's appearance, the salinification process stopped at dawn. As a result, the knights were able to advance on the capital of Haliask with the hope of investigating the salt pail. That afternoon, they finally reached it, but they found it completely different from how the pail had before when they first arrived in Northumbria. In the center of the salinated area, they found an object that was a mere 2.5 arc in height. Its surface was no longer blanketed in salt, rather it looked as if something had been carved out of it. It's now believed that the pail's mass decreased as the salinification process progressed. In its smaller state, the pail had lost its power to turn swaths of the country to salt, but its ability to salinify was still very much intact. Anything that touched it, even for a millisecond, was instantaneously turned to salt. It was of the utmost importance to handle it with care. In order to complete the mission without physical contact, the Gralsritter required the use of the sacred tool Gleipnir, which was delivered to them from the high seat in Arteria. Since then, it has been kept closely sealed away deep within the high seat in Arteria. Still, while the recovery mission was ultimately deemed a success, the damage already caused was equally vast and significant. No damage to the surrounding nations was reported, but it resulted in the destruction of 3 of the 5 administrative districts of the principality, including its capital. Over a third of the total population, along with travelers from elsewhere, lost their lives. This is to say nothing of the emotional damage caused. Due to its sudden outbreak, the hearts of Northumbria's people were overwhelmed with fear and uncertainty. From a humanitarian and religious perspective, a swift response from the Septian Church was all but necessary. The decision was made to dispatch personnel to the region right away, and upon arrival they set about rebuilding the damaged churches and healing both the physical and mental wounds of the people. Those who were left orphaned in the crisis were taken into gospel facilities where they would be cared for until adulthood. The northern region of the country, which had been turned entirely to salt, was placed under the church's control. It had been a restricted area ever since. Supplementary notes. After some time, the country's former leader, Prince Mahmud, attempted to rebuild the government. Given that he had fled the country during its hour of need, caring only for himself and not his people, all authority he once had was gone. The following year, the country's people led an armed uprising and the Principality of Northumbria was no more. Eventually, elections were held and the country became a democracy, thus bringing about the birth of the autonomous state we know of now. This was also when the former Principality's armed forces reformed as Vigilante Corps. Given the extreme poverty of the state, however, the majority of said corps considered gathering foreign currency to be of the utmost importance. This is how the large-scale Jaeger Corps known as the Northern Jaegers was first established. As far as the rest of Zemuria is concerned, this is where the tale of the Salt Pail ends. But a number of very important questions still remain unanswered. Perhaps the most obvious one of these is where it came from. Despite the considerable size of the object and that it appeared on the outskirts of a populated city, no information is available regarding the moment it first appeared. The most popular theory is that its appearance was due to something akin to spatial translocation, but no hard evidence exists to support this, or any other theory. Of more importance, however, is its positioning in the teachings of the Septian Church. The pail is clearly different in nature to artifacts, and appears to be a more fundamental manifestation of Goddess's powers of creation, committee report. With the limits of our knowledge at present, this is as far as we can get to the truth. There are some who propose it may be one of the Septarians, but no evidence has been found in legend or scripture to support this belief. Nevertheless, these questions and many others need answering, and the Congregation for the Sacraments continues to study the salt pail to this day. The most accepted proposal comes from those who believe the pail should be seen as nothing more than a gift from Idios, and they continue to consider various means for her church to make good use of it. The most realistic of these plans is using it in the manufacture of a sacred tool used for execution. Parts of the pail are cut away using high-pressure water and then surrounded with a cylinder made from salt crystal, allowing them to be fitted directly into the target without requiring the user to make direct contact. Should the bolt make successful contact with a human target, their whole body would turn to salt, killing them in mere seconds. There are no known means of reversing or stopping the process. This approach does not come without flaws. It seems unwise to be careless with an object we still do not understand the true nature of, for one thing. There are also humanitarian concerns with executing someone in this manner. Still, it does bear mentioning that should there ever be a case where a target needs to be eliminated without fail, this would be the most surefire way to carry it out. It should go without saying that research on it is intended to continue into the future. Appendix regarding the aforementioned sacred tool. Trial use begins with the sacred tool. Top secret work only. Permission granted to use in the execution. Fired from bow gun. Results were extremely favorable. No damage was caused to the surrounding area. The target was also successfully erased. Appendix about the target. The target was orphaned by the salt pail when it first appeared. Brief history is as follows. Joined the Septian Church, joined the Congregation for the Sacraments as an official, promoted to bishop, declared a heretic and excommunicated from the church, side story, the Salt Pail SCP received Petrify and some money. Yeah, that was very, very SCP-like. And clearly that was used by Kevin at some point. But we are going to take a break here. I'm not sure if I'll do some off-screen grinding next or do some doors. We'll think about it and see how I'm feeling. But in any case, I hope you have been enjoying. As always, likes and comments are very much appreciated. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.